Welcome back to another episode of Tough Garage, guys. Now, one of the things I've always wanted to do is get rid of the bonnet stay. That ugly rod, it just looks terrible. I want to go to a strut system, but I don't want it to make it look like it's an afterthought. Let's see what we can do. So the idea is to mount one point off the bonnet there, and the other point around here somewhere. So the gas strut sort of works like that. But I don't want to put a mount there that looks like I put a mount there, if you know what I mean. Now, the bonnet hinge brackets, they sort of look like something you could use. And I've made them both look the same, only because of this modification here. But originally, they look something like this. Mind you, these have been cut out. So that's one side, and that's part of the other side. And the reason I've cut that one like that is because the bottom section here came out at an angle. Looked nothing like that one. I need it to look like that, which is much easier to replicate. Now, having a look at them again, you can see that one side is deeper than the other side, same as this side. One side's deep, one side's shallow. So what I'm thinking of doing is splicing and dicing. Get a section of this, put it onto this side, make them both deep, and that'll give me one. So I'm going to need to source another pair of these and see how I go about making another one. Either way, let's get started. Alright, we're starting to get there. So you can see I've got the deep bend on both sides now. That'll get the top of the mount. Now we've got to worry about this bottom area. It seems to be too long and on the incorrect angle. So we'll muck around with that. Alrighty, so I've dummied up the pedestal and the bracket that I got off the Gas Struts Australia guys. I've got a couple of different brackets just to try out. So these seem to work best. I'll have to cut this one down. But it's a nice little like triangle shape at the bottom there, and that suits the pedestal really nicely. So I'm going to space that out a little bit. As you can see, it looks pretty good. But I'm going to give it another 5mm just to clear the hinge, so that when it folds down it clears everything and doesn't hit. But so far we're looking really good. It took a little bit of dicking around, mainly this pedestal here, just to try and calculate exactly where the position was going to be once it's closed. These are very hard to hold. Even this is, I've bought this with no gas, as in not as in no gas, as in it's completely empty. It's got 10 kilos, but that's the starting point of these things. And even at 10 kilos, it's really hard to close up. So tried to close it up and hold it with some cable ties wrapped around it, and it only did so much. But now I've got it all worked out. It was binding a little bit as it was closing. It wouldn't let the bonnet close completely, but that's the sweet spot right there. So now to weld it all up, clean it all up, do the same with this. You can see I've done the, put a plate underneath the bracket just to try and spread the load. And the shape I've gone for, I'm gonna weld it in and then put a little bit of filler and make it look like some sort of factory piece and basically make it look like something like that. So that'll be the end look of it. So it'll just all blend into the bonnet. Alright, let's finish it off, I guess. Okay, so I've filled in the areas where the swage was originally, because the original ones that I've modified on in the engine bay, I've removed that area. So I've got to make them look the same. So that's what I've done. I've filled in that spot. So now it's a matter of cleaning up all these dirty welds. And the other thing I want to try and do is recreate this lip on this side, so that way they look a bit more symmetrical when they're on the car, because at the moment one side's going to be one way and the other side is going to be exactly the same, but because that won't work, because one side will be facing forward with the lip and the other side will be facing back with the lip. So if I can replicate that lip, give it a bit of a fold in here. It's already got a bit of a start, but it needs a little bit more, and then try and make it look the same. Even if I have to shave down a little bit of that one so that it's not so much here, then it'll still look a little bit nicer than that. Alrighty, so they're all done, sealed up, front and back, and I've drilled the holes for the plug welds, so ready to go. So we might as well put them in. What are you fuckers laughing at? Of course I need glasses. I'm 50. And now an update on some of the more boring stuff that I've been doing. So the door frames on the right hand side, all done. All bodyworked, all smoothed off. As you can see, one of the mods I've done is I've joined the window frame to the actual door frame. So that's all welded up and smoothed off, so there's no seam. All the spot welds all filled over. The whole bottom, everything. Same with the actual door frames and jambs, they're all done. All seam welded, all one piece, the whole lot. Rear door area also done. All nice and smooth. All the door gaps have been finalised in 5.5mm. So 5.5mm everywhere. All the bottoms of the doors have been extended. 5.5mm centre, all perfectly aligned. Guard the door, 5.5mm, all the way down to the bottom. The other thing I've done is I've gone to a 2-bolt system for the bottom of the guard. Window frames all aligned perfectly to the jamb. So these window frames were modified, not much, 1 or 2mm here and there, just to get them to line up perfectly, and also to have the perfect curve, same as a pillar. And the whole right hand side has been set and aligned. Doors to quarter, doors to sill, door to door, swage lines all perfectly lining up, and the guard took quite a bit of work, to the point where I cut off the inside frame and re-welded it in a relaxed position, just so that I could just hang it and it'd be perfect every time. The front guard's been lipped. But I'm yet to do the rear quarter. So that's another episode done, guys. Gas struts on the bonnet all set up and completed. It works really well. They're at 300 Newton meters each, and they hold up the bonnet easily. So I allowed for a bit more. I went 250 at first, and I allowed for a bit more for filler work and paint and all that stuff, just in case it weighs a little bit more. Plus wind. If you've got it open and it's a windy day, you've got to allow for things like that, so it's not going to shut on you and stuff like that. The jambs and the door frames took quite a bit of work. It's all fiddly little corners and crevices and everything, but I'm happy with how that all worked out, considering I had welded this guard. So the guard edge was all welded to add more metal to the guard, and then re-grinded it again back to its 5.5mm gaps that I'm after. The door didn't need much. The bottoms of the doors did. Bottoms of that door, and that rear door needed quite a bit of work as well to get around the wheel arch really nice. It was all over the place. So that's all lined up. It's back into epoxy. It's all sealed and it's ready for filler work now. Other than the rear quarter. Rear quarter I've got to double check, but I'm pretty sure that'll be close. Double check that. Lip the rear quarter as well before I start, and then that'll be all the metal work done on this side of the car and ready for filler work. But the next mod I'm going to do now is I'm going to work on the top of the radiator support. Now that I no longer need the bonnet rod, I can fill in that hole and start smoothing all that off. I've made a cover that goes over the radiator. I want to make that all 100%, all body worked and everything, and then resealed, so it's all just ready for high fill. Alright, thanks a lot guys for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'm really close to 2,000 subscriptions, and if I reach that limit, it'd be really, really cool. Thanks again for watching guys. Catch you on the next one.